The Transportation of Dangerous Goods, or TDG Act, is designed to protect the public and the environment from the shipping hazards of dangerous materials. The legislation covers all stages of handling and transporting dangerous goods, from the original point, where goods are manufactured, to the final point, where they are unloaded for end use. In the fertilizer industry, the primary products classified as dangerous goods are anhydrous ammonia, 8200, granular ammonium nitrate, 3400, and blends which contain granular ammonium nitrate in quantities greater than 13.6 tons. Under the Transportation of Dangerous Goods Clear Language Regulations, anhydrous ammonia falls in Class 2.2, Subclass 8. The Act applies to fertilizer manufacturers, distributors, shippers, retailers, farmers, and carriers transporting classified fertilizer products by rail, road, marine, or air. Movement of products across provincial borders is administered for the federal government by Transport Canada and the RCMP. Transportation of product by road within a province is administered and policed by the provincial government and the RCMP. All transport trucks and field delivery units delivering anhydrous ammonia require documentation. All nurse wagons in excess of 10,000 liters, 2,200 gallons, require documentation. Your NH3 dealer will provide you with a meter ticket or product record that you must keep for 2 years. Section 1.24 of the TDG Clear Language Regulation states that all field applicators and nurse wagons with a capacity less than 10,000 liters are exempt from documentation. Farm customers who pick up anhydrous ammonia with a nurse wagon at a retail outlet are also exempt from documentation, but must provide proof of training. Under the Transportation of Dangerous Goods Regulations, any pressure vessel must be placarded on all 4 sides of the unit. Nurse wagons can apply for a permit for 2 placards on either side of the tank. This permit must be carried with the tank at all times. Placards must be visible on all 4 sides of a transport trailer or field delivery unit. If they are not visible on the front of a tank, they may be attached to the truck's front bumper. The placard is now green with a white border, white middle section, black 1005 in the middle, a white bottle on top, and a white 2 on the bottom. These placards must be legible at all times and must be replaced when faded. As an ammonia customer, if you use more than 3,000 liters of the product, and if your equipment is transported on any roadway, you are required to be certified in the safe handling of transportation of dangerous goods. As many of you are your own employers, you are required to deem the training you received adequate and sign off on your own training card. You are also required to sign off on your employee's card if you deem them to be adequately trained. Your TDG certification is only valid for 36 months, at which time you will be required to recertify. Your card must be carried with you at all times when handling the product, as you may be required to show it to your NH3 dealer or an inspector on a roadway. TDG regulations require you to report all incidents and accidents involving anhydrous ammonia on a roadway to your ag dealer immediately. Failure to do so may result in you and the ag dealer receiving a fine for non-compliance. The first piece of ammonia equipment needed is your personal protective equipment. This includes neoprene gloves, 1 or 2-piece chemical suit, and full-face respirator. The glove should be worn with the cuffs rolled up to prevent anhydrous ammonia from running down the gloves and onto your arms. A full-face respirator will provide protection for your respiratory system from the hazards of anhydrous ammonia. See your dealer for additional details and proper use of personal protective equipment. Wearing contact lenses is not recommended when working around ammonia. If anhydrous ammonia would get trapped between the contact lens and the eye, no amount of flushing will remove it. The next area is the applicator equipment. So let's look at the toolbar. The toolbar has a quick coupler and the control system supply hose. The hose provides ammonia flow to one of three choices of a flow control system. 1. The nitrolator flow control that you manually set for given ammonia flow at a specified ground speed. This system does not compensate for change of speeds caused by varying conditions throughout the field. Then, there are a number of electronic control systems on the market that provide precise application rates by means of a radar gun in reference to ground speed and an electronically controlled metering valve. A third type of flow control system is a ground-driven positive displacement metering pump. Both the electronic and ground-driven control systems use a thermal transfer unit. Approximately 2% of flow is released through an orifice into an outer expansion chamber. This refrigerating action provides cooling for the inner chamber. The result is that the ammonia will flow in total liquid form, on out through the delivery system. Both the electronic system and the ground-driven system provide the operator with a more accurate, precise, and consistent application rate throughout the field. The flow from the control system is turned on and off from the tractor seat, either by a hydraulically controlled flow valve or a manually controlled rope valve. When the valve is turned on or opened, ammonia flow is directed to the distribution manifold and on-out plastic tubes to the ground engaging knives. The on-off flag position in relation to the opened or closed valve position may vary due to manufacturer and installation requirements. Make sure that you know which position is indicating open and closed on your toolbar. Before you start any service work, the entire system must be bled down. Open all bleeders and open the flow control valve. A word of caution, on electronic and ground-driven systems, it is possible to have ammonia trapped under pressure between valves and pistons, so extra care must be observed when opening up these systems. The manufacturer's recommendations for maintenance procedures should be followed precisely. All hoses must be drained of any liquid or vapor ammonia residue. Often the most neglected part in a toolbar is the quick couplers hose that goes to the flow control system. This hose should be free of any cuts or abrasions. It should be replaced as necessary. All anhydrous ammonia hoses are to be hydrostatically tested annually and replaced according to the service life marked on the hose. Only a qualified person should check the quick coupler to ensure it is operating correctly. Once the two connections are pushed together, they should form a union. The opposing check valves come in contact and force each other off their seats so that ammonia can flow unrestricted through the coupler. A bad O-ring here can cause the quick coupler to leak. The O-ring should be replaced only by someone who is trained and has experience. Inspect the breakaway coupler mounting bracket to ensure that it swivels freely and that hoses are not kinked or dragging on the ground. Make sure that the hose connections to the couplers are tight. Check the nitrolator. The screen in the nitrolator prevents foreign materials from plugging the nitrolator or the delivery hoses. The screens can only be removed when the pressure in the nitrolator has been released and no ammonia is left in the system. After all debris has been removed, reinstall the screen and tighten the connection. If your toolbar is equipped with a ground-driven metering pump or an electronic flow control system, refer all service to your dealer. Anhydrous ammonia equipment should be serviced by trained personnel only. It is not worth the risk of injury for those that are not trained. The points that we make here for service are only to familiarize you with some of the dangers and to assist you in a visual inspection that you must perform each day as you apply ammonia. Check all delivery tubes running from the manifold to the knives. They must all be the same length. Check for any worn spots or kinks that may restrict the flow of ammonia or cause a leak. Look for excessive knife wear and an enlarged orifice on the tube. Replace any worn tubes. Always use parts approved for use with ammonia. When pulling ammonia tanks on the roadway, they must be secured to the vehicle with a heavy-duty hitch pin that is clipped or secured, and two safety chains that are crossed under the tongue and attached to the towing vehicle or applicator. These chains must be heavy enough to pull the tank should the hitch pin break. A slow-moving vehicle sign is required by provincial law. It must be clearly visible behind the tank. Do not speed. The speed is limited to 40 kilometers an hour, 25 miles an hour. It doesn't matter if the tank is full or empty. Always stop for all railway crossings. Look both ways to ensure that the tracks are clear before crossing. When the season is here and it is time to handle anhydrous ammonia, remember to handle it with care.